Arsenal 2, Liverpool 2. Let's break it down. Now, I'm going to be totally honest. I think a point is a good result for both sides, but I can understand why also both sides would be disappointed with a point. I think Arsenal were probably the stronger team throughout the game, and they had a couple of decisions go against it at the end, and they took the lead, they were 2-1 up, so they're probably disappointed to throw it away in the manner that they did. I felt that Liverpool came out really strong in the second half, and Liverpool may have seen the injuries that Arsenal had. Gabriel coming off and thinking, this would be a really statement win at the Emirates. I can understand why both teams would want better. I think I've seen Liverpool play a lot better this season. I don't think it was Liverpool's best performance, but I also think a point is a very good result for both teams. So I'm going to give you my thoughts as sort of a Manchester United fan. I say a neutral perspective. I wanted both teams to lose. That's not possible. So I guess both teams drawing is the best result for me, I guess, as a Man United fan. Although do not make any comments about Man United. I'm still honestly rattled by that West Ham game. The penalty West Ham got, we're 14th and the penalty... I made a video on my Man United channel, but we're not here to talk about Man United. I don't want to talk about Man United. We're here to talk about the Arsenal-Liverpool game. What I'm going to do is I'm going to talk about the game in general, my thoughts. I'm then going to talk about my man of the match for Arsenal. I'm then going to talk about my man of the match for Liverpool. And then another player that stood out for me for Arsenal. Another player that stood out for me for Liverpool. And then we're going to talk about some weak points and then how this could impact the title race. Now, I'm going to say, first of all, Arsenal are 5 points behind City, but I think Arsenal can catch City. City, got very lucky that their goal counted versus Wolves in the last minute, or City would be on 2 less points than they're currently on. City weren't great versus Southampton. Liverpool have looked better than City this season, and I'd argue when Arsenal have had 11 men on the pitch, they've looked better than City this season. So I think Manchester City this season are catchable. I think last season they weren't, but I think Manchester City this season are very catchable. But let's talk about the game in general here. As you can see, very similar stats-wise. Liverpool had a bit more possession, shots very equal, 9 each, XG, Arsenal had a little bit more, but I think it was quite an equal game, so I don't think either team could be too mad about the draw. I felt that Arsenal were the better team in the first half. I think after that, I think Liverpool was all right the first 10 minutes, and once Saka scored, I felt Arsenal looked really, really good. And then Arsenal sort of took the lead, and I don't know, I won't even say part the bus, Martinelli was taking it to the corner flag in the 75th minute. It just felt that Arsenal lacked the urgency to make it 3-1. They'd rather just defend the lead. And I felt that Liverpool in the second half were a lot better. They came out a lot better in the second half. I thought Slot got his substitutions absolutely spot on. So just giving you my general thoughts and perspectives on the game before I talk about individuals. I thought Saka, what return from injury. I thought Thomas Partey had a really strong game. I thought Gabriel was very good before he came off. Declan Rice was my man of the match for Arsenal. And I thought that White had a good game. My man of the match would probably be Konate or Declan Rice, or I think they were the 2 stand-up players for me, so one from each team. We'll talk about him. He's been a monster lately. I thought Darwin Nunez had a good game. I think Darwin Nunez works incredibly hard. He runs the channel. His pressing's good. I've been very impressed by Darwin Nunez these last few games for Liverpool. Even though he's not got a goal, I think his off-the-ball work is really good. And I've seen Solanke get a bit stick for Tottenham lately because he hasn't scored the last 2 or 3 games. But I've been really impressed with Solanke for Tottenham. I think he's a really good fit for Ange's system. And I think people just go, he's not scored, he's rubbish. With Nunez, I don't think he scored the last two he did score the game before that, and he got the assist today. But I felt that Nunez has been really impressive for Liverpool lately. I don't think he's got the chance that you see him get under Klopp yet. But I think that Nunez has been very impressive lately for Liverpool in terms of his off-the-ball work and what he gives for the team. I thought Szoboszlai had a good game, actually. I thought this was a game for Szoboszlai. There's been a few question marks around, how Liverpool can best use Szoboszlai. Van Dijk, very strong again. I wouldn't blame him for the second goal. I think his foot played Merino on side, but there's not much in it. And Tsimikas did well. I have to say Robertson was poor. I think Liverpool, they're going to spend in January for sure. Liverpool need to look at someone that can play left back, or they want to get a left back, left centre back hybrid. And by a left back, left centre back hybrid, I mean like a Calafiore type player, someone that can play left centre back or left back, which would be Schlotterbeck of Dortmund. I think Luca Bar of Leipzig would be an amazing signing for Liverpool, but I think he's signed a new contract, so his release clause is like 80 million or something, which is a bit much. Calafiore was one of the recommendations. Levi Colwill for left centre-back, but I think Liverpool is so much better at centre-back than left-back. And I don't think Chelsea are going to sell him because he's been phenomenal for Chelsea. But there is quite a few good left centre-back, left-back hybrids on the market. You could even look at Hatter of Ajax, very young player. Or Liverpool may just want to look at a left-back. Aït-Nouri's one that's been linked, but I think Robinson would be a good one, even though he's a bit older just because of his abilities to get up the flank. They might look at someone younger like Loco. There's definitely some good left backs on the market. I think Liverpool will look to strengthen the left side of the defence. But I thought Tsimikas did well. I think Liverpool may also look for another midfielder for depth. Maybe they'll go back for Subamendi. Who knows? But I want to also say as well, when Ranieri came on, I thought a lot better. I felt that Arsenal, good first half, scored the goal, way too passive in the second half. Liverpool came out the better team in the second half. Then I felt in the last 10 minutes, Arsenal really went for it and were looking for a winner. And I thought that, Ranieri was good. I felt that youth was sort of an injection in sort of Arsenal's energy. Because I think that both teams were probably happy with the draw at the end. But I felt the last 10 minutes, something went in Arsenal where they wanted it. But I feel, and maybe this is me and Arsenal fans, let me know down below, but I feel like Arsenal have been good, and I think they've probably been the team screwed over the most by the refereeing decisions in terms of how it's impacted their points in games, for sure, this season. But I feel like a bit more fragile this season, like Martinelli taking it in 75th minute to the corner. I feel like they're not looking to kill off games rather than win 2-1 than go for 3-1 and risk it. Maybe that's just me. But I did feel that a little bit when watching Arsenal. I felt that Liverpool did come out in the second half much more dangerous than they needed to. I think Slot got his substitutions right. And I think it wasn't Liverpool's best game, but it was a big test. And I think Slot, got a result out of it. Away at the Emirates, Arsenal were my favourites to win the league at the end of the season. And I think had they had players able to stay on the pitch for 90 minutes and not gone down to 10 men, they could be top of the league right now. But I think Liverpool are top of the league, or were top of the league and deserve to be top of the league. I think Liverpool have been better than City this season. If I looked at it from just an eye test perspective, I'd have put Liverpool first, Arsenal second, City third in the league this season, Chelsea fourth, ahead of Villa, weirdly. But I think that if you've got to look at Liverpool, they've got 4 points versus Chelsea and Arsenal away. I think Liverpool will be happy with that. I think Slot will be happy with that. He, first season, he's on a good run, only lost the Forest game, drew away at Arsenal, but that's not a bad result. Even though I think that Arsenal at times were the better team, and I think that Slot would be quite happy with that result. I just felt that maybe in the first half a little bit Liverpool lacked urgency. And also in those last 10 minutes, I felt that Liverpool were very happy with the 2-2. They were very happy just with a 2-2 with a draw. But I thought first 10 minutes Liverpool went for it a bit. I think Saka scored, and I felt that Liverpool really came out a bit more in the second half. I do think they were silly goals from a Liverpool perspective to concede. I do think they were quite preventable goals. But this is what I mean about Arsenal lacking urgency. Was more that Arsenal created just 0.05 XG while they were leading between the 43rd and 81st minute. It's like Arsenal look best when it's like 1-1 or 0-0 or they're 1-0 down. I feel like when they're winning, is there like a switch that goes off? I don't know. Obviously, it's probably just today. But let's talk about my man of the match for Arsenal, and then I'm going to talk about Konate. But I thought Declan Rice was absolutely fantastic today. I think I prefer Declan Rice in the 6th role. I said Arsenal need an 8, get Declan Rice in the 6th role, and I will stand by that. 64 touches, 1 assist, 2 key passes, 4 out of 5 long balls, 44 out of 52 accurate passes, 3 out of 7 duels won, 3 interceptions, 0 times dribble pass, and a 7.8 SofaScore rating. But I think Liverpool have had one of the best midfields in the Premier League this season. I think Gravenberch arguably been the best midfielder in the league this season. Easily top 3. You could argue top 1. I think McAllister is a very good player. I'd say he was probably Liverpool's best player last season. Szoboszlai has had hit and miss moments, but I think he's such an energy and unique profile. Curtis Jones was man of the match in the Chelsea game last week. Liverpool do have some very good midfielders, and I think Liverpool's midfield this season has been fantastic. I think that as a Man United fan, I learned that when Liverpool destroyed us in midfield and beat us 3-0 at Old Trafford. But I felt that Declan Rice dealt with Liverpool's midfield very well, and I thought this was one of the quietest and poorest performances I'd seen from Liverpool's midfield. And I thought that Declan Rice's ability to break up play and intercept really made it difficult for the Liverpool midfield to sort of break those final lines. This is my sort of what I've wrote on Declan Rice in my notes. Set piece delivery has significantly improved since joining Arsenal. I thought he managed to dominate Liverpool midfield really well in a lone 6 position, which I think was one of the hardest positions in football. I think his ability to read and understand the game, cut out passing lanes, make those interceptions, his positional awareness is fantastic. I think he's better in the six because even though he's got that whipper of a cross and set piece delivery on him, I think his off the ball and reading of the game is actually a lot better than his on the ball ability. And I thought that he was commanding. I felt that Arsenal losing Gabriel was a big loss, obviously, and I felt that he still brought that experience because I always see Gabriel, Saliba, and Rice as Arsenal's core, and I think that three, Rice is the six with Gabriel and Saliba behind him, is why Arsenal had been so defensively sound last season as a core. So to lose the two key centre backs was massive. I know, and obviously Man United reference here, but when Man United lost Leach and Varane through injury, that was when it all went downhill for United. And then we got Leach and Varane back last season for the FA Cup final and beat City. Your two centre backs are so important. You know, Konate and Van Dijk have been unbelievable for Liverpool this season, and I think Gabriel and Saliba was as a big reason behind Arsenal's success. But I thought Declan Rice is like the sort of guy that, you know, connects it as well, and I thought he was really good. I think set piece delivery is ridiculous. Like I never thought Declan Rice, if someone had said to me a year and a half ago, Declan Rice can be one of the best set piece takers in the league, I'd have laughed. I said, what, really? I did not see that coming, but yeah, I thought Declan Rice was fantastic. Set pieces, not just that, but the contesting the duels, the winning the duels. I think he imposed himself on the Liverpool players well, and I think what he did is he maintained possession and he looked back to his best. I think he was unbelievable last season. I think he's a good player, but I don't think he's hit his quite heights this season. But I felt his reading of the game, was off the ball work, his interceptions, his positional awareness was fantastic today. But his passing was good. He could break the lines. He, you know, covered ground as well off the ball. Yeah, really smart passes. And I think he made it difficult for Liverpool in possession, particularly in that first half, by his ability to break up play. My man of the match for Liverpool, Ibrahim Konate. He won 3 out of 3 duels, made 6 clearances and 6 recoveries, and won 100% of his tackles, which is 2 out of 2. Konate versus Arsenal, 6 clearances, 6 recoveries, 2 out of 2 tackles, and not dribbled past once. I don't think Trent had his best game. Now, Trent did a Trent thing and unleashed a fantastic pass into Nunez, which helped Liverpool get the point, and that's why you have Trent, because even though he can have some weaknesses defensively, he's got that ability to win you a game. And I think when you're playing big teams, you need players like Salah and Trent that can win games, because if you've got players that can win games, even if you're not at your best, you can still get a point, and that's what Salah and Trent did today, and I think you need that in a side. But Konate really did cover for Trent, I think, defensively. I think Martinelli could cause Trent some problems, and I felt that he put an absolute shift Konate, because, in my opinion, it wasn't one of Trent's best games. I do really rate Trent as a player, but this was not one of Trent's best games, and I think, you know, he put in an absolute monstrous performance at right centre-back today, Konate, and I think this season after Gravenberch, he's been Liverpool's second best player, in my opinion. I think he's so dominant, and I've always said this about Konate, and I'm not going to go into too much detail because I've said it so many times, but with Konate, he's just an athletic monster. He's faster than everyone, he's stronger than everyone, he's just so quick, so he can like defend the wide channels, deal with players 1v1 so well, but he can cover ground, defend large spaces so well, but because he's also got the IQ and intelligence to know where oppositions are going to be, he's got the positional awareness and the reading of the game, and also I think he's got really good anticipation as a centre-back. It makes it so difficult to beat him because he's going to be there, he's going to deal with it, he can sniff out the danger. I think that Konate is such a fantastic centre-back in terms of, this is the guy that if you're a winger or you're a striker, you don't really want to come up against, because he's going to be better than you in the air, he's going to be stronger than you, he's going to be quicker than you, and he's going to be able to read you. And I think he is that athletic beast. I think he's very good. I think he's good on the ball, not as good as Van Dijk on the ball, but I think because you've got someone like Van Dijk that's elite on the ball next to him, I think that pairing has been so good. I think Konate would be in my team of the season so far if I had like pick centre-backs. Probably Konate and Gabriel maybe. Right now, I think Gabriel's been better than Saliba from an Arsenal perspective, but I thought he was fantastic. I think he really helps Trent out. And another player, I think, just because he's come back from an injury and he just goes and does that on what a goal. Bukayo Saka. Bukayo Saka is one of my favourite players, despite playing for Arsenal. I think he's such a likeable player, and I don't get the hate. But his record versus the Big Six is very good. 3 goals and assists versus Tottenham, 3 goals and 2 assists versus United, 4 goals versus Liverpool, 2 goals and 3 assists versus Chelsea, and 2 goals and assists versus City. Bukayo Saka's proven that he can do it in big games, he can do it in smaller games. Like, he can show up for Arsenal. He's really proven that he's a top player. And I think this season is Bukayo Saka's sort of output season, where I think he can establish himself as a real top-level player and maybe get the respect he deserves a bit more. If you look at Bukayo Saka, just like in the Premier League this season, you look at statistics, most chances created, Saka. Most big chances created, Saka. Most assists, Saka. He's been phenomenal this season. Didn't get an assist today, did he? But he got the goal. coming back from injury, it's going to be a difficult game for him. Who knows if he was even fully fit? And I thought that Bukayo Saka was absolutely fantastic today. And I think he's had a fantastic season. So props to Saka. And then, I look at stuff like this 10. Bukayo Saka's been involved in 10 goals and 8 appearances in the Premier League this season, 3 goals, 7 assists, the fewest games by an Arsenal player to reach 10 plus in a single campaign since Fabregas in the 9-10 season, which took 6 games, which is crazy. I mean, it's been an unbelievable start to Saka, and if he keeps that up, we're 8-16. We're basically a fifth of the way through the season. So times that by 5, 7 times 5 is like 35, minus 5, we'll say 30. He's on track for like 30 something assists this season and like 15, 16, 17 goals, which I don't think he's going to do that, but that's insane. And then just lastly, looking at the league, so Liverpool are a point behind City. I think they've got better goal difference. Arsenal are 5 points behind City, but I think it's very gettable. I think just using my eyes, and I'm saying this as a United fan, City aren't at the best. They've lost Rodri. I think City are going to drop points. I think City have been riding the luck a little bit. And I've heard Liverpool fans saying they've been riding the luck. They weren't at their best. They got a result here. They weren't at their best. They got a result here. And I think it's always good to get results when you're not at your best. Liverpool maybe felt that they got a result versus Chelsea, not their best, but they got the win. But I think, if you can get results when you're not at your best, but also when you're at your best, play really good football, that's a good position to be in, top of the league. 1 game lost, obviously the second now, Liverpool. But I do think that City's gettable this season. And I see Arsenal fans and Liverpool fans feeling that out of the tight race because they've dropped points and City's 1 point ahead of Liverpool and obviously 5 points ahead of Arsenal is a big thing for 9 games. But I generally think that Arsenal would be doing some catching up. I do. Anyway, guys, let me know your thoughts down below. Please do hit that like button. Of course, subscribe down below if you're new. Thank you for watching. I'll be back tomorrow with a roundup video. Bye.